In one of our previous videos, we mentioned how the Crimson Armor allows us to one-shot the Mushroom Bowls in the Crimson Isles with our Hyperions. However, we didn't really go into details on how or why it is the meta for right-click mage outside of dungeons. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. For the longest time, people have seen Crimson Armor as being a melee set. However, what little people realize is that Crimson Armor is actually incredible for a right-click mage outside of dungeons. Arguably better than average Aurora armor. As you can see, I have mana pool and mana regen on each piece of my Crimson Armor, along with Wisdom 6, which allows me to get a significant amount of mana outside of dungeons, considering I only have around 1,000 magical power. With this, you are able to do incredible amounts of damage outside of dungeons, and it works very well against a tier 4 Enderman boss, which I will be showing you guys. First, let me give an example of what the Crimson Armor does. So without 10 stacks, I do about 3 million damage to an Enderman. However, with 10 stacks, so as you can see, with 10 stacks, I do 10 million plus 3 million damage, which is about 13 million damage. And this scales with the execute or prosecute enchant. As you can see, that's 13, even more. And that last hit was 15 million damage, which makes phase skipping much easier, especially on that last phase of your tier 4 Enderman boss. So I just spawned my boss, so I'm going to go ahead and do my usual tech to get my hits phase done faster. So the most important part of this whole boss is that you must maintain 10 stacks throughout the whole thing. Otherwise, you just don't do enough damage and it's not worth your time. So the way I do that is I keep Ender Pearls in my inventory. That way I can throw them down around whenever he's in hits phase, so I can just go through his damage phase and just like that. That was kind of a bad boss, and it was 40 seconds, which is pretty incredible. One thing I should mention while I am spawning this boss is that the Hyperion is not the only option for this. I've seen people using Crimson Armor and a Midas Staff, and since the Midas Staff has incredibly high single hit damage, and the Crimson Armor, I don't know how the math works, but it like triples the damage. The single damage output you can do is immense. I've seen over 60 million damage. So if you're doing tier 3s, or even if you have a Hyperion and a Midas Staff, that would be very good for Enderman Slayer. So I messed up this first phase, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and bring it back. See if we can get a fast boss going. There we go. And it might look a little bit sweaty when I'm doing, but it's actually pretty simple. You kind of just have the Reaper Mask in your hotbar, which allows you to quickly swap and... Oh, that was the worst boss, but either way. A 40-second boss for this armor, which goes for about 15 million coins in the auction house per piece. Let me just find the piece I saw earlier. Yeah, right here. Mana pool 4, mana regen 5 for 15 mil. That is a bargain and a really good deal, actually. So that's it for Crimson Armor. It is not only one of the best melee sets in the game outside of dungeons, but it also is one of the best right-click mage sets outside of dungeons, only rivaled by the Aurora armor. Thank you guys for watching. The next video will be in 3 to 5 business days. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell your mom how much you love her in the comments. See you next time.